Yeah, see we live?
Yeah.
Okay, we start again?
Yeah.
Hi everyone, this is JR from Mirror Groups and I'm at Just Be Center. And we're going to talk about a very important topic called thoughts becoming things. Is that important to you? Now, first of all, you must realize that you are a thought creating machine. So every day you wake up, you have thoughts about what you want to do the entire day. You have thoughts about what you want to do about the future. So every time you're actually creating thoughts all the time. And what do you do with those thoughts? So the problem is you wake up in the morning and most of the time these thoughts actually hit a ridge. All right, so you get in the body, you are in the body right now, and you download all these thoughts. As they come into your body, what do you do with them? Do you act upon them? Do you dismiss them? Or do you just let them go? The point is that unless and until you actually exercise all your thoughts, you'll never be happy in your life. All right, no matter what you do, unless you really push through in life, unless you really go for what you want, you're never going to be happy. All right, and that's the bottom line. So, but what are you doing in this material universe? Why are you even here? So what I want to tell you is very simple, that you are actually a thought creating machine. That's what you were made. You were made to just create thoughts and give form to this physical universe. So the physical universe by itself has three main ingredients. You have matter, you have energy, and you have space, all right? And you come here with your thoughts and you create time, all right? So how is time created? So you have two or more particles interact with each other and you plot that and you call that time, all right? Then you've been doing that for eons and eons and eons, and that's why you keep coming back and back and back. The material universe itself does not have any thoughts, all right? After the Big Bang, it was just put into motion without any thinking, no thought, no dream, no illusion. So you as theta, when you come into the physical universe, you get feedback from the environment. So you look at stuff, for example, you look at a chair, you look at a bench, you look at people, and you want to reorganize them your own way. How would you do that? So it's quite simple. So you look at something, you relay that information back to source. The source then gives you a better image of how that should look like in the physical universe. And that now becomes your own thought, all right? That's what you call an individual thought. That's what you call an original thought, all right? Your original thought should matter to you a lot because that's your way of organizing the material universe. But most of the time, your thoughts, the one you carry all the time throughout, are not your thoughts. And that's where the problem is, all right? So let's take a scenario. You want to wake up in the morning, right? The alarm goes at 6 o'clock and you're like, I'm going to wake up in the morning and start doing stuff. At 6 o'clock, it rings and you're like, maybe I should sleep another 10 more minutes, maybe another 20 more minutes. Why? Because you don't want this new thought to come in. You're so afraid of your thoughts because you have to act on them, all right? So it's actually quite simple. The wave of thought enters your body, it creates a certain type of emotion, and it makes you act in a certain way. And at the end of the day, you're not happy with what you've done, all right? So look at the space that you're in right now. Look at the room you are right now. Look at where you are. If you're not happy with your life, it's because these are not your thoughts. It's very simple, all right? If there's a lot of effort in your life, if there's a lot of struggle in your life, if there's a lot of motion that you're really trying hard to make ends meet or make money, then these are not your thoughts. These are someone else's thoughts. It's called thought intrusion. And how does that happen? Actually, it's quite simple. It's through pain. The body itself is quite weak. You're much stronger. So you're theta. You're much stronger. You're a thought creating machine. But the body you're in, it's actually quite weak. It can be, pushed around. People can cause you pain and make you do stuff. And that's how it usually really happens. So the question is, how does thought intrusion takes place? So every time you're unconscious, which is every time you're in pain, anyone can insert any thought into your system and make you do stuff, all right? Take example when you're a child. So you want to do something, like you want to play or you want a gift from your parents, and your parents tell you, if you do these efforts, if you do these actions, if you do this stuff, you'll get that stuff. So these are not your thoughts really, but they want you to go through a chronological order that if you do this action, if you have this thought, if you do this action, if you perform in a certain way, then I'll give you matter. So you come to a conclusion at a very young age that your thoughts actually don't matter. All right? So you then start to rely on others for your thoughts. So you go, when you're in trouble, you go for advice, you ask your elders, you ask others, how should I go about reorganizing matter? All right? And that's where the trouble comes. Because just look at the space around you right now. At any given time, you're trying to create an identity for yourself. All right? That's what we're all after. We're in this physical universe to give it form and create an identity for ourselves. All right? Every time it gets hijacked is with someone else's intrusion. All right? And that's what you have to remove. It's called theta clearing. So in theta clearing, we remove other people's influences and other people's thought from your system so you can go about living the life you want to live. All right? Not the way everyone else is telling you how to live. Look at everyone in your life. Everyone's telling you do this, do that, do this. If you don't do this, I won't give you that. If you don't buy me a house, I won't marry you. If you don't give me this, I won't give you this. So you're always negotiating the wrong way. The best way to go about organizing your physical universe always, and there's only one way to do it, is with aesthetics. All right? Now, what aesthetics means is that you have your own unique way of looking at the physical universe. All right? So I look at a chair and you look at a chair, but we both have a different way of organizing it, coloring it, and putting it in shape. All right? So that's the first way to do it. The second way is to translate that aesthetic now into a thought form, which you download all the time, which you can break it down. And then as that thought now hits your body, it creates an emotion. And that emotion creates action, and then action becomes matter. So thoughts become matter by first converting the aesthetic wave, which is a wave of beauty, it's a wave of arts, culture, music. That's called an aesthetic wave, all right? That is individual to every human being. So I have an aesthetic wave, I have a way of expressing music, and you have your own way of expressing music, all right? Now that aesthetic wave is now broken down into, let's say, musical language with notes and melodies, all right? That now is further broken down into some kind of emotion which you would feel in your heart and your gut, and based on that, you would perform. If you are a singer, you would then use your body to bring out that voice, a unique voice, right? But then you go to school and people tell you, no, train your voice a different way, your thoughts are not correct, and that's not correct, and whatnot, and then it becomes kind of a problem for everybody. So, coming back to the question, thoughts becoming thing, is that important to you? Absolutely. Thoughts become matter all the time. At any given time, you have space. Look at the space, always. Look at the objects in that space. They're the extension of your energy, all right? Look at the people in your space. They're extension of your energy. And if the people in your space are misbehaving to some extent, it's because you have allowed them to crash into your universe. How does that happen? It's quite simple. So I look at the material universe, I look at things around me, I come to decisions that in my universe, all chairs are going to be green. That's my universe, and I only accept that as a decision. It's my conclusion, it's my idea, all right? Now, let's say I get a girlfriend and I allow her to crash into my apartment. And she comes in my apartment and because I'm allowing her to communicate with me, which is how someone crashes into your universe, by the way. This is how first thought intrusion takes place. They crash into your universe very wildly. And then she goes, well, I would like one of the chairs to be slightly different color. And that's a decision you have to now make. So when you allow someone to change your physical environment, its shape, its color, its objects, it's no more your universe. It's no more your thought. Now you have thought intrusion. So there's no reason to complain when you get married or you're with someone and your life falls apart. It is going to fall apart if you're not careful, all right? There's no way your life's going to remain the same if you allow someone else to crash into your universe ever again. So we end up in therapy and we talk to friends about it, but nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change till you decide not to let people into your universe. And when you do allow them, you have to make sure that they don't change your decisions about the organization of your physical universe. All right? If they can crash into it and put their own conclusions, then you're ruined. There's no way you're going to get what you want, ever. All right? So don't be surprised when things don't work out, when you are crashing with others. And Lastly, I want to talk about how time is created. All right? Time is created by an interplay of energy with regard to an object. So every time you have an object, you have time. If I look at this mug here, it's a physical object. It took a while to make. Now, every time you have a physical object, you have thought in it. Someone made it, someone organized it, and someone put these particles together. That took some effort, that took some energy flow. So every time you have energy flow, you have an object, you have time. And this is how time is created for the most part. And if you have more than 2 or 3 people in an object performing, you'll find the energies in those things all the time. So nothing's really clean of any energy because a lot of people are involved in co-creating this environment around us, and we're always co-creating with others. That's a given. Also, you have to realize that at any given point, if you're not reaching an identity you're looking for in life, let's say you are in your mid-30s, your mid-40s, and you're finding that you're not constantly able to execute your thought, it's because this thought in the form of live energy is now hitting your body, it's hitting a ridge, all right? A ridge is a trauma point in your life. So what usually happens is you get live energy that comes into your system in a form of a thought. That's what it is. Live energy is basically thought or new thought, all right? There's no other way to create live energy. There's nothing like you eating food and you're gonna get energy, no way, all right? You're theta. So you're extended into the human body to reorganize matter. That's what you're doing. So you have aesthetic, thought, emotion, effort, and matter. So when there's effort, emotion, and matter, that's the human body, all right? And you have thought and aesthetic, which is the thought body, but it's still one wave, it's one thing. So it's not like your thoughts are different from your body. You just extend it into the body to create matter, to move stuff around, put 2 things together, and then you have matter. It's a very slow process, a painful process, but that's Earth. That's the planet Earth. Everything is a bit slower here because you have a body. So usually what happens is, because of the traumas and the blocks we accumulate in our lives, most of the time this live energy actually hits a ridge, all right? Now a ridge has data in it. So I'll give you a really easy example of how your body, your mission in life gets hijacked. All right, why you're not living your own life and how you really get hijacked. All right, so I have a thought that for example, if I have a thought that I'm going to wake up in the morning and it's 8 o'clock, there's a thought I'm creating, which is live energy. I'm creating energy for the future now today. So I create an energy for tomorrow, which is now. I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning 6 o'clock and work out. That's the energy I'm creating for tomorrow. I'm creating energy into the future. I'm projecting myself. It's called exteriorization. So if you can imagine your future, you're living out of your body, you're exteriorizing, which is a great thing, all right? That's amazing. So we're really good at imagination, we're good at exteriorization. So the best way to exteriorize is to imagine the future. You're creating live energy just like that. Now, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow at 6 o'clock, I've created energy today for tomorrow. But now it's gonna hit the body, all right? It's gonna hit the body, and what's gonna happen? It's gonna hit a ridge. What's a ridge? A ridge is a time when I woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning and someone beat the shit out of me for no reason, all right? It could be your parent, it could be your sibling, for no reason. You woke up at 6 o'clock one day in your life and it just hit you hard, all right? And you couldn't walk, and you had a backache, or even your mom yelled at you 6 in the morning, waking up so early and waking her up, or your sister yelled at you because she wanted to sleep more, all right? So now, the first thing that's going to happen is this live energy will first hit that ridge, all right? In that ridge, there's data. The data is accumulated during pain. So if you're in pain, your mind is actually rendered unconscious. And then someone can say you're useless, or you'll never work out, or you don't even know how to work out, or don't even try working out, okay? So you're gonna wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and not wake up. You go snooze 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 15 minutes before it's 8 o'clock. Oh, I'm just gonna take a shower and go to work. Because the live energy always hits a ridge. In the ridge, there's data. It's dangerous data. And your mind accepts that data as literal. It cannot analyze it because this data only comes up during pain. That's it. It only comes up when the time clicks. And there's a poor connection here, so. Okay, so that's what happens. So that's why you're never really able to exercise your thoughts. Thoughts becoming things, is that important to you? Absolutely. That should be the most important thing in your life. So to get moving into your life, which is to start creating your own life of your own design, the first thing any Thetan, we're all theta bodies, the first thing you have to do is clear those ridges. If you don't clear those ridges, you won't be able to exteriorize. If you can't exteriorize, then you can create your future, all right? So if you can exteriorize, you can create an anchor point for yourself in the future. You can latch onto that as a source of energy and move forward in life. So unless you exteriorize, you won't be able to move forward. And in order to move, properly, to be accountable to yourself, you really have to love yourself enough to break those ridges, okay? So if you don't break those ridges, it'll be very hard. You're gonna wake up every day with headaches, your back's gonna hurt for no reason, and you're gonna just, take medication and blame the whole world, which you can. I mean, you're living in a world of randomity. I mean, this planet really loves others to crash into your universe, so you have to really decide how to stop that through less communication. That's the best way to do it anyway. Less communication with those who want to just suck your energy out. Don't do it, all right? So thoughts becoming things, again, is that important? Absolutely. We're here, you are a thought creating machine. That's where you were made. That's where you were sent to this universe. That's where you were sent to the physical universe, because you're the only one who can create thoughts and receive new thoughts, all right? You've been sent here to mold the universe into a beautiful place, all right? We were sent here to create an aesthetically pleasing environment for ourselves and for others. That's what we've been sent to this planet. That's what we've been sent into the physical universe. We're gonna keep playing more and more games through a thought body. We can get different bodies, we can different planets, and we can do different stuff. But on this planet, because of the limitation of this physical body, clearing the ridges becomes extremely important. This body is not that strong, it's quite weak. It's very susceptible to hormonal changes. You got planets moving in different directions. All of a sudden, you got a full moon and you're going crazy. You have to be able to control that, or you become a vegetable, right? So people who are easily influenced by external forces of gravity or, other planetary movements and their hormones changes, they can just change their trajectory in life, right? So this body is actually quite weak. It requires a strong beingness to be in it. It requires a strong beingness to exercise control. And it actually requires a strong beingness for no one to intrude it. Most of our lives we've been taught to take advice from elders and move from there. I've made the classic mistake all the time. Professionally, I'm really good at what I do. I mean, I'm probably the best carpet salesman in the world. I'm the only guy who's known in all continents as a guy who comes and sells carpets. And I've been able to do that very simply by latching on to an aesthetic wavelength, all right? As long as you create beautiful products, as long as you create beauty, everyone's gonna be a slave, all right? Because as theta, the closest thing to theta is actually beauty, all right? So theta at rest actually does nothing, it just relaxes. Theta energy as itself is not restless, the body makes it very restless. I mean, I was restless even before I started the seminar. I mean, this thing here live, I was a bit restless because the body, now with that live energy, the body is hitting a ridge. It hit a ridge and I had to control the ridge. All right, it's as simple as that. So the closest thing to theta is aesthetics. As long as you are in the aesthetic wavelength, every day in your life, with everybody, if you're with every human being, and you are always imagining the future from an aesthetic wavelength, then you don't need as many thoughts. You don't need as much emotion. You don't need as much effort. It becomes very easy to convert thoughts into matter. And the key to that is move beyond thought. There's a step before thought, it's called aesthetics. It's a wavelength. It's like a sound, light, infrared, different waves, but it's very focused, it's very sharp, and it's extremely potent. So if you're in trouble, if you are in a relationship which is very bullying, and you have a spouse who's very abusive to you, who's being always messed, which is always being a physical universe, is always trying to bully you, hit you, or trying to suppress you, or get things out of you, they're being very physical. They're being material. They're being a physical universe. They're not being theta. All right. The physical universe is brute. It's brutal force. The physical universe has no beauty. All right, but you do. So if you're with a spouse who's being very physical with you, very abusive, very mesty, what I call mesty is matter, energy, space, and time. All right, mesty, like really brute. You can easily get out of that situation if you somehow are able to leave the body temporarily and tap into the aesthetic wavelength. You can tell him stuff or her stuff, and they'll leave you alone. I mean, that's what most of the great leaders in life have done. Gandhi, MLK, JFK, all the great leaders, they communicate that aesthetic wavelength, and they draw crowds, masses, and they get out of trouble easily. All right. So this is a short session today. We have actually a workshop here on the 25th. On the 25th here, we have a workshop here. It's called the Art of Goal Setting, where we really take the ridges off you and we exteriorize you into the future. All right, and then we latch onto that, and you can draw a lot of energy from it. So thank you everyone for joining, and I hope you enjoyed this short session. Thank you.